What are teens today not ready to hear? They're part of an ongoing cultural decline. Most of your mental problems are caused by your excessive use of social media. You will be on average, be poorer than your parents are and will live shorter. You will never own a house. The world isn't here to make you comfortable. You do not have to be autistic or trans to feel cool or different at 14 years old. These kids are doing more harm than good to those who actually experience these things. I am absolutely appalled by the sheer amount of people who all now have autism or are trans, and the vast majority are teens who haven't even fully developed their brains. People who legitimately have autism or are trans are suffering extreme scrutiny, from the far right, because a lot of these attention-seeking kids are making it all something it is not. Some young kids definitely deal with these things, but not 95% of the Gen Z population. This is all based on what I see on the internet, of course, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Big etc. Your emo and rocker style that you think is so original? Yeah, I did that in high school 20 years ago, before you were ever born. As generations before me have had some sort of similar style of dress too. That nothing anyone does will matter in the grand scheme of the universe. We are all going to die and be forgotten eventually, and it will be like we never even existed. You're going to be just like the boomer generation, unless you actively take steps towards fighting climate change, and support funding for climate projects in your voting, as are the generations before you. Those haircuts are not going to age well. You're being unique in the same way everyone else is. Car insurance, cell phones, carpeting, electricity, real estate taxes, brake pads, etc. These things cost money. Lots of money. You have to own up and take accountability in the real world. There will not always be a safety net. If you just cancel your Netflix subscription, you can buy a house. That curly hair look the TikTok influencers wear looks terrible. You look like broccoli. Like a VeggieTales about an asparagus with attitude. Today is the youngest you'll ever be. That they are being manipulated on an hourly basis by the social media they follow and willingly hand over their lives to. You are not special. I cancelled your data plan. The societal problem you've just heard about? It's been a thing for decades, centuries even. Don't sweat the petty things, and don't bet the sweaty things. George Carlin. Cultural appropriation is a myth. You really do just work till you die. For most people there's no bigger picture. Nobody wants your boyfriend. Stop being jealous of everyone who talks to them. Jealousy is not a healthy aspect of relationships. That as progressive as you feel today, soon you will have a new generation telling you why all the stuff you enjoy is problematic. You will then defend it, and will get the next generation of okay boomer. Someone disagreeing with you doesn't make them evil. Or cause harm. Just about everyone has damage. Most adults have just learned to deal with their issues and don't act extremely depressed over them. You are not more put upon, talked down to, living in a harder time than any other generation ever. Too many trigger warnings will cause more harm than good for you. In real life, you can't avoid some aspects that can be censored in the internet. As I think stuff like mental issues or stuff that will trigger most or many of people, death, blood etc., is reasonable to put the TW. I'm seeing people asking for putting it for stuff like pregnancy, bugs etc. It might just make you impossible to live in the world and society. Pull-out games are weak by nature. Dial-up internet sounds. That kids today with their rock music and their hair is a refrain that is over 2,000 years old, dating back to the ancient Greeks. That they are ready to hear. What they're not ready to hear? That in 35 years some of them will be saying it themselves, about another generation of teenagers, because they've forgotten this simple lesson. High school is really not that big of a deal. Double think your major in college before you spend $100,000 for a worthless degree. Just because you're offended or your feelings are hurt, doesn't mean the world needs to stop and cater to you. Your feelings will rarely ever reflect reality. Some of you will figure this out quickly. Some will take 20 years. Some of you will die believing your feelings. When you figure this out, people that still believe their feelings implicitly will seem like lower life forms. You currently seem like a dim-witted lower life form to people who have figured this out. Implicit belief in your feelings is one of the most seductive things possible. Letting it go will take everything you have and will feel like betraying yourself. But if you can manage to let go of it, most aspects of your life will start to make sense and get much easier. Holding on to who you think you are right now is a seductive trap. They are owed nothing. The way future generations relate to your generation will be greatly affected by how you relate to your elders. Please look someone in the eye for mutual respect and speak up when talking with someone. Don't take advice from losers. Nobody really wants to watch your makeup tutorial video. It really is just a phase. Virginity is a dumb concept and honestly doesn't matter that much. Don't force it if you don't want it. Many of you seem to be descending into nihilism. And that's an okay philosophy, I guess, but it never really got anyone anywhere they wanted to be. Don't be a nihilist. Be a stoic. Not a meme of stoicism. Not just pretending like things don't affect you. Be an actual stoic. Read up on it. It has a lot more practical application in life and is compatible with basically every religion/belief system out there. Atheists and Satanists can be Stoics the same as Christians and Muslims. But don't descend deeper into the nihilistic fervor that seems to be sweeping through. Stop collecting mental illnesses like they are Pokemon gym badges. These are serious conditions that impact people's lives. No matter what you think, you are not ready. You're not the savior. Your opinions are not unique. People before you have struggled, fought for stuff, and did things for their rights. It is because of those actions that you have it so slightly easier today. So don't scoff and say millennials/Gen X/etc. didn't do anything unlike yours because we did, and a lot of us died doing so. You're lucky you got a computer to do it because we had to take pepper spray and slurs directly to our face. For a generation that doesn't like labels, you sure as hell have created a lot of labels. Life is expensive. Enjoy living the free trial. If you're a young man, 9 times out of 10 you're going to have to work like a dog really hard to be successful. Your best friend is probably going to be a distant memory in 10 years. TikTok is useless and horrible for society. Just because someone is LGBT doesn't mean they're automatically a good person. The influencer career path is oversaturated and unlikely to succeed anymore. Nobody cares. Your parents are not narcissist, they are flawed human beings. It doesn't mean they're not bad parents, and it doesn't mean that you need or even should forgive them. It means that people are complicated and there aren't so many people with narcissistic personality disorder that every one of them can be the parents of a teenager between 14 and 19. Communism doesn't work. You don't need to be sexy at 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Just be a kid. You don't need to be an Insta baddie or TikTok baddie when you're still in MS or HS. Social media is fake. Also, please stay off Tinder if you're underage. Good people will just reject you, and the only people who won't reject you are creeps who are looking for minors to exploit. There is no safe space. You have to work for things you need and want. Things get harder from here. Everything you think matters right now, doesn't. No one is really all that special. Neither you. How many people out of 8 billion could do what you do if not better or more well known? Just because you can turn an apple into a pipe that you can eat doesn't mean someone made one that you can drink from. If not that, it's also something we done too. Dad's beer cans. Yeah, there's more air skills, but there are still others that do that too. You not that unique/special. Doing TikToks or as such in public just makes everyone cringe at this. No one should apologize for stuff that happened before they were born. The people of the Jewish community that survived the Holocaust and have suffered from discrimination are the ones respect should go to. Why should I respect a 5 years old who is Jewish for this reason? Just because you are offended doesn't mean you're right, and it sure as hell doesn't mean people are obligated to tiptoe around your feelings.